Hey everyone, this is Zero Prime, and welcome back to another episode of Zero Showcase, a series in which I look back on well, not really look back on it, but to showcase all of the games and other things I've collected over my time living here in Beijing. So let's begin with some more PS2s, and don't be surprised that this is going to be, probably most of the showcasing, because it's very easy to get a lot of these, here around here as well. So, but again, it does give like an interesting chance to see games that never actually have well, I shouldn't say have not existed, but I should say that I never knew existed before, depending on, what type of game it is, or what console it is, and all that stuff. It's always interesting to, showcase that. Like, this one here is the Basara, which I think this one means is like part of the best-selling edition. Like, I know that there's like, the bestsellers cases. If a game got popular and sold a lot of copies, they would get like a case like this, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course there are some interesting titles like here, that this is Neo Genesis Evangelion, but you would think, oh, it's about like, you fight angels and such. Nope. Oh no, wait, actually, yeah, this one it is, my bad. This one involves, I think, no way, it doesn't feature the character, but yeah, never did get far into this one because, like I said, since I can't read and understand the language, I couldn't really get that far into it. But I see some Evangelion titles that they are actually, part of these Pachinko game series, and yes, they do have some Pachinko games on the PS2. Now this one I think is the same as Mach-10 X, which is, I know I have one on the Dreamcast back home. And though I never really got a chance to play that version of it, I still would like to, give that a shot whenever I'm given a chance to at some point and everything. But yeah, especially just seeing, interesting to see like, an IP franchise from Atlas. Especially this is obviously the same style as their Persona and I always have trouble pronouncing that one, Mugen Tensei. And here also there are a couple of anime, slash manga titles, like here is Najima, which made by the same creator of Love Hina, and of course, yeah, from the way it looks like, it's like an audio-visual novel slash RPG strategy type game of some sort, but like I said, I could never get that far into it to know really in full detail. But yeah, like I said, never knew that this game would have existed, if I never got a chance to get it. Yep, and then we have the classic one from the PS2, it's a Dot Hack. Now, I do have the Dark Hack series, but I never really I shouldn't say got into. I haven't got a chance to really do a series on my channel for that game, but I definitely would like to, especially like, starting with the original ones and then going up forward some more of the more recent titles. I know that what was that one? The second series of Dot Hack was re-released on the PlayStation 4, so that at least will take care of that, but they never did a remastery for the original Dot Hack. And then here we have another Naruto game, which there was a whole lot of it, and this one never got released into the US, because I think more, to my knowledge, especially for the PS2, it was just the Naruto Ultimate Ninja fighting game. There was some like RPG element in some of the other games, but those were released for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, if I remember correctly. And then of course here we have the Basara 2, which is this one, the cover is definitely the the best cover edition, where, like I said, if a game does very well and such, they will get like a cover of this to like emphasize on that and everything. Alright, next we got, yeah, another one. I know I showed this one before, but this one had a different cover and everything on that. But again, a girl with multiple pretty boys. Enough said. Yep, and that dropped to the floor. And also here we have a different cover of the Basura 2. This one is more of a hand-drawn one, but essentially we'll play the same thing, so... But it's interesting to get, like, you know, the many different editions or cover versions of the game. And then, of course, we have Summon Night 3, which I have seen some of the Summon Nights, I think on the PSP, if I remember. But again, never really got a chance to play that, nor could I really play, you know, far in this version, since, again, it'd be kind of hard for me to understand it. But, I mean, technically, if there was a English translation walkthrough of the game, then yeah, I could definitely play the game no problem and everything. So, and here we have the Japanese version of Ratchet and Clank 2. Rather interesting cover that especially is like hand drawn, and then compared to the CGI characters in the game, so that's rather interesting. And then Basura 2 Heroes, which I think this is kind of like added extras added to the second game, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, unfortunately, like I said, there's some damage on the casing and everything. So, but again, that's something to expect when you're buying used titles and everything. Unless you're buying it from a collector that takes real good care of them and everything, then you know they're being in good condition. But if you're buying them used from a store or someone else, you kind of have to expect that. Now, Beatdown, I did play a little bit of this, and I could have, but of course at the time I couldn't get the brightness of its settings well done, because the screen was like very dark, especially when you're playing a PS2 system on a high definition TV nowadays. It always gets a little bit tricky and such, but yeah, it seems like, you know, a very interesting game. Definitely like almost like a 3D classic. Well, a 3D version of the classic beat 'em up games where you just beat up a bunch of people and everything. So, but again, this one never got released in the US to my knowledge, no under a different name. But yeah, at least now I have it in my collection. So, in any case, that's all the time I have for you guys. So as usual, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a comment below, subscribe for more video update, share this on your Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and all other social medias. And don't forget to hit the like button to help out the channel, and to turn on the notification bell to stay up to date on my channel. And if you guys want to help me out in some shape or form, I do have a Patreon account down below. And as usual guys, thank you for watching, and have a pleasant day. Bye bye.